Welcome to another edition of the Raspy Voice Kids. I'm Brandon Phoenix, a.k.a. I Also Hate Pitt, and I'm joined once again and as always by...
JN Fiend. I'm here as well. We're about to get our review on. Not even review on. We're going to talk about what happened. We're going to get down to it.
What happened is we got embarrassed on national television again.
We
went to the Heart of Dallas Bowl, played in the historic Cotton Bowl, played a 6-6 mediocre Utah team, and couldn't put up any offense to save our life. It was bad. And as bad as it is, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know because you're a West Virginia University fan, just like we're West Virginia University fans. So really, what's there to say? What do you want us to bash Chugs? What do you want us to complain about Spaz play calling? You want us to complain about that first drive where it looked like we were playing Oklahoma all over again? Please. Really, you can do all of the complaining for us. We don't have to do that. What we can say is that what happened was not acceptable. Understanding that Will Grier was gone, Justin Crawford was gone, Yadni Kajust was gone, Kyle Bosch was gone. Understanding all of that, it still wasn't good enough. We're tired of it. We don't want it to be this way. But the truth is, where are we going to go? I said on Twitter recently, some of y'all might have saw this, and I said it on Facebook too, I would never, ever let a woman treat me and my heart the way that I let West Virginia University treat me and my heart.
Preach.
And do you know the worst part? As down and out as I felt, as sad as I was, as beat up and bruised as I felt, I'm so excited about 2018. I'm optimistic about a new day. She told me she's going to change. She said it's never going to happen again.
No. It was our fault. It was our fault. We were good enough fans.
I wasn't a good enough fan. And that's one of the things we keep hearing. We keep hearing on social media people say, as long as the fans accept mediocrity, as long as the fans accept Dana Holgerson, then we're never going to be successful. And I hate when people say that because how I feel, how I root, what I expect has nothing to do with the results on the field. Trust me, because I was ready to go. I was fired up. I made a whole video just to say, let's go for the Heart of Dallas Bowl, and it meant nothing. This is all about the coaching staff. This is all about facilities. This is all about the horses that get put out there on the field.
And I love the fact that you said the horses that get put out there on the field. I heard people say all kinds of stuff about this Utah game. They were out coached or they were outworked or they were out prepared. Some of that may be a little true. The truth is, what I saw, especially on offense, was a big discrepancy in talent level.
Yes.
That's what I saw. We were missing 2 offensive linemen, true. But our offensive line as a unit was getting, we were getting bullied, straight up. We were getting bullied. And the worst part of being bullied is, like, if you had a friend who's ever been bullied in school or you maybe, a family member, you always want to jump in and help. We had to witness. We got punked. That's what happened. They bullied us on offense. 153 yards, 6 first downs. Our offensive line could not stay with their defensive line. Their defense as a whole. I know they were 6-6. I've said before, I think that they were actually better than that in the year. But when you watch it, I don't care how much passion you have. I don't care how prepared you are. I don't care how many X's and O's. When the guy across from you is better than you, there's nothing you can do. Here's the thing. I put that on recruiting. I mean, that also goes to coaching. Our receivers, I felt like I could play with them. Our offensive line.
Our receivers didn't play with our receivers were better than them. Our receivers were open.
I agree.
Which, to give credit to Spavital, as much as people are frustrated, there were people who felt like Spavital should have given Chugs some more intermediate passes to get comfortable before he started unloading the bombs the way that he normally did with Grier.
Like on the first drive, on the third, we're not going to talk specifics, but I felt like there were some passes that could have been that were called, receivers open. He just didn't. He didn't make the play.
That's my opinion. Spavital called plenty of plays where receivers were open, plays that should have been first downs, plays that should have been touchdowns. Execution was the issue. Execution on the line. Kyle Whittingham, the coach of Utah, who is now 11-1 in bowl games, said afterwards, "We controlled both lines of scrimmage." That's a fact. There's no two ways about it, which gets us into what we really want to talk about. Everybody's going to do their season recap. Everybody's going to do their postseason review of West Virginia University. Jeremy and I have homework. We have homework for the units that make up the football team. If we're going to reach the goals that we aspire to in 2018, if we're going to reach what we as fans expect, and what we expect, by the way, is a vast majority of us expect no more than 2 losses. No more than 2 losses will be acceptable, I believe, by 89% of the fans that were polled. And I believe there were like 400 people who voted in this, maybe 500 people who voted in this poll. And 90% said that 2 or less is the only thing that's acceptable. So if we're going to reach that, we have to hit our marks, which means we've got to do our homework. And we've got some homework assignments that we as fans, again, not as coaches, not as experts, but we as fans want to hand out. So Jay, where do you want to start?
I say we start right up front. The person I feel like most people come at and want to say things about is Spav, and I've been defending him all year, and I didn't like our outing, but we have a summer. We have a summer to get it together. Whether it's Spav,
well,
whoever.
We have spring and summer starting January 9th.
Whether it's whoever's calling the offensive plays, I want to start there. I want to start there at the very top at quarterback. Here's my homework assignment for you. Now, granted, you don't have to listen to me. This is what I would like to see. The first thing is something that obviously is glaring. We have to develop a backup quarterback. Now, you can say that we have these other guys who had to redshirt for whatever reason. It seems like we all have that talent, but we have to make sure that we're ready to play. Like I said, we always say next man up, next man up. This year, we cried in our pillow. That's what happened. I made jokes about it. I was like, oh, next man up.
No,
this year, we cried in our pillow. We cried in our pillow. So next year, not only does a starter, Will Greer, Mountain Greer, have to be ready to go, but we also have to have a viable backup and maybe another one after that. Think about it. This year, they said what happens is if Chugs goes down, and Dana said, Wildcat, 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 Wildcat. We need more than 2 quarterbacks. So we need to develop that depth. And I think there's going to be a reoccurring theme talking about depth. But starting at quarterback, we have to develop depth just in case the worst happens again.
In my opinion, it doesn't stop there with just depth. Depth is the most important because Mountain Greer put up historic stats. He was on pace to put up historic stats. Even missing the last 2.5 games, he's still 8th in the nation in touchdown passes. We saw what happened to David Sills when he went out because David Sills didn't catch another touchdown pass when Mountain Greer went out. He's an excellent, excellent quarterback. Could have gone pro this year. We're very thankful that he didn't. I feel like Will Greer throws the ball off his back foot too much.
Yep, I agree.
I feel like he doesn't always make the best decisions. And what I mean is on 3rd down, he'll have an option for a first down. There will be a receiver open or a running back open for a first down. And then he's also got a guy who is less open but streaking down the field for a big home run ball. And almost inevitably, Will go for the home run ball. And sometimes you just have to move the chains. And if you look at our offense, especially in the second half of a lot of games, it just stalled out. It fizzled out because we couldn't get first downs. Not because we weren't as talented, maybe not even because we weren't as focused, but because we didn't always make the best decisions. So my homework for Mountain Greer is take what the defense gives you and don't always be greedy. Now, obviously, Spavital is going to be the guy to teach him. Will Greer knows more about quarterbacking. He's forgotten more about quarterbacking than I will ever know.
Yep.
But those are my basic observations. And if I'm given homework, that's where I start for Will Greer. And the depth, of course, as you said, we've got to have guys prepared. I don't think there's going to be any question that we'll have plenty of depth. Jack Allison, Trey Lowe.
I think so too.
And David Israel before we even get to Chugginoff next year when it comes to depth.
This is true. But another thing I'll bring up is something we've talked about. I've said this a million times. When you watch great offense coordinators, even just, it seems like every coordinator has a go-to play. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4, a little bit longer. There's a go-to play that is guaranteed to work. I need that. I need a play from our offensive coordinator when it's 3rd and 4 and we're in the 4th quarter, a play that is guaranteed to work, whether it's a little rub play, whatever it may be. I want to see it, and I want to know surefire is going to happen. 3rd and 4.
I'm going to argue with you a little bit. I feel like we had that on the goal line. I feel like that's how David Sills caught most of his touchdown passes. A little bit of a rub. He comes inside. Will Greer hit him. I feel like we had that on the goal line.
I feel like on the goal line, the slant was money. I'm talking about in the middle of the field.
Okay.
I'm talking about in the middle of the field. You try third and 4. We're tied. It's the fourth quarter. There's 8 minutes left. You already know. The guys already know in the back of their head what play you're going to because it's money. You watch any great coordinator, they all have it. 1 or 2 plays, at least one, usually a couple plays they run. I feel like we just get out there and we, we don't have a specific play. And
I think we rely too much on talent making somebody miss or somebody making a play as opposed to it just being there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's our homework. That's our homework for the quarterback area.
For the offensive coordinator and the quarterback, we got them covered.
What about the receivers? How do you feel about the receivers?
The receivers have to stop dropping balls.
That's all I have.
That's all I have. I feel like they block well. I feel they're open very often. I feel like they're explosive, but I feel like they make too many mental mistakes dropping balls. And they don't do it. It's not like it happens enough to kill drives. It happens enough to limit our offense, to keep our offense from being as good as it could be to reach its full potential. David Sills in his first full year at receiver, you can make excuses that way. Marcus Sims, a young receiver, oftentimes trying to make more out because of how fast he is, trying to make more out of something that might be little. Gary Jennings was the guy that was the most sure-handed for all of our receivers. But really, all I have is they just got to stop dropping the ball in critical situations.
Yeah,
Keep the chains moving.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying too. Tyron Carrier has to get. Look, we're not knocking on these guys. We're not talking down on them. This is one of the best receiving corps in the country. These guys make spectacular catch after spectacular catch. But like we know, if we're going to win games at a higher rate, we have to get better. Every year we have to improve, and that's one of the big things is just catching the rock when the ball comes to you. Concentrate, make sure you bring it in. Like I said, we play so well and we've done so many amazing things, but just little tweaks here and there are going to make us successful.
Yeah, the statistics speak for themselves. Like Carrier says, this is straight up, throw it up you. There's no question about that. We're just talking about what little bit could be improved. And in my opinion, catching the ball is the thing that they got to do. So I say we go to the running back room.
All right, what you got for us?
Well, we've got a lot of depth at running back. You got Kennedy McCoy coming back. You got Martell Pettaway. You got Alex Sinkfield. You've got Tevin Bush. And we got our boy Letty Brown coming in as a freshman. Not sure what he's going to be able to do, with all that depth and being a freshman, but there's high hopes. What I really want to see our running backs do better is catch the ball out of the backfield better. And I want to see them break first contact. You were right. Look, we didn't discuss this before. We did not discuss this before, and you're right on point with me. I feel like we're elusive and we're quick, but when somebody grabs us, it just doesn't feel like we're strong enough. We're a little light. I want to see broken tackles. I want to see a hit and to drive him 4 more yards. I want to see those broken tackles on first contact. I'm with you. I want to see
100%.
I want to see Martell Pettaway from Iowa State from 2016. That's what I want to see. I want to see guys who refuse to go down but still maintain ball security. For the most part, our running backs had good ball security this year.
Yeah.
With a few exceptions, we had good ball security. I just want to see them break first contact. Besides that, I don't have any problems with them because I think the bigger issue lies in our next discussion, which is the offensive line.
Bring it home.
The offensive line was young at center with Matt Jones. Who?
Matt Jones.
And he was banged up in the bowl game. We lose Kyle Bosch. But our offensive line should be really good next year. Yadni Kajust comes back. Everybody knows he's an NFL player. Could have been a 2nd or 3rd round pick this year. Has a true potential to be a 1st round pick if he continues to make progress and if he can fight the injury bug. He had a pulled hamstring, which is why he didn't play in the bowl game. But if he can stay healthy and continue to make improvement, he and Colton McKivitz are going to be excellent.
Yep.
What we really need to establish is depth and tenacity.
Yep.
When we had players go down, we had no one that could come back in and really just move in lockstep. And again, if we're going to be a team that wins 10, 11 games, if we're going to be in the Big 12 championship, if we're talking about New Year's Six, or if
reaching that mountaintop,
if we're reaching the mountaintop and getting to the playoff, we need more than just 5 offensive linemen. We need depth and tenacity. We need to own the line of scrimmage. We need to make holes where our running backs are making plays at the second level, not behind the line of scrimmage, not at the line of scrimmage, but at the linebacker level. Yeah. That will really give us a lot of it'll balance our offense. It'll keep the chains moving, as I keep saying, and it'll take pressure off of Will Grier and our wide receivers. I felt like our pass protection was really pretty good for the most part.
No, it was. I will say that for Grier, when he dropped back, he had a clean pocket, for most of the year.
And when he didn't, he's talented enough to make plays on the move. Sometimes he's more dangerous when he's making those plays on the move. But if we're really going to be successful, we need to own that line of scrimmage when we're running the ball. And part of that goes to Spav too, letting our running backs get a rhythm. Sometimes, even though we were fairly even running to passing ratio, it seemed like the timing of the run plays, or the timing of when we decided to stop running and start passing,
there was no rhythm.
It seemed like we couldn't find a rhythm.
Absolutely.
And so hopefully with the offensive line, if we can build that depth, if we can build that tenacity, then we'll be able to establish that rhythm, and our offense will be, again, what we all believe it can be, which is a juggernaut.
Yeah, I think they were great at pass blocking. Against Utah, with a couple back end, I didn't feel like they played very well. But I feel like they're a good line. I've seen games when I see them come out and they look inspired and they look feisty, and they start opening up holes. But it's something that, because we need depth, we have to be able to sustain it. And like you said, if we sustain injuries, we need a guy who can step in there and have that same fight and that same grit and that same nasty to get in there in the trenches and do what them boys do. And like I said, we're great at pass blocking. I feel like that's one thing that we really have to work on in this offseason is being focused on just getting that nastiness in the run game.
And I think something that'll help, it's going to hurt losing Elijah Wellman.
It is. It really is.
But
Eli.
But Trevon Wesco comes back, kid out of Martinsburg. Hopefully he carries on that 304 mentality. He caught that 2-point conversion for us in the bowl game. But we also bring in Giovanni Haskins, the transfer. We got Michael Laughlin, who Ohio State came for hard at the end, and he stayed loyal to the 304, loyal to the Mountaineers. And then, of course, we got TJ Banks. So we have options. I would like to see the tight ends incorporated more in the offense, not just in blocking, not just for the tenacity, but also to get better matchups, to get mismatches against linebackers, something we didn't see almost any of. Actually, I don't remember anything besides the jump pass from Kennedy McCoy out of the Wildcats to Wesco in the bowl game. But what'd you say?
So when's the last time we really utilized that tight end in a big way?
Not since Dana's been here. Will
Johnson?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while. And the tight end, it can be such a weapon, because these guys, like I said, most of them, I'm not gonna say they're all basketball players, but they're all usually taller, a little bit faster. Linebackers have a tough time matching up with them. The safeties, the secondary isn't big enough. So if we can start using them, and it seems like we're getting these players in, and we got some young kids coming in who can do it. If we can incorporate that into our offense, our already potent offense, it'll be big for us.
Yeah, that's the thing for me is if again, it's back to the horses. It's back to the Jimmies and the Joes. If you have the talent has to see the field. And when you have talent on the field, you create mismatches. And the more mismatches you have, the more opportunity for success you have. And that's how I feel about having these players at tight end. If we've got the players, let's play them. Let's put them in position to give Grier options, to make it so that anywhere he looks, somebody's open. You look at Oklahoma's offense, Baker Mayfield always had 3 or 4 guys open. I want the same thing for Will Grier when he steps back, when he surveys the defense next year, and getting our tight ends involved, if possible, is going to be part of that. And I think that wraps it up for the offense.